Good afternoon. It's sunny. It's good season for reading books. Before reading these books, I have one question. Is there anyone shyer than Little Miss Shy? Let's start. Little Miss Shy. Little Miss Shy just couldn't help it. Being shy, that is. She was terribly, desperately shy. She was so shy it hurt, which is what they call painfully shy. If any time at all anyone at all said anything at all to her, she blushed like a big flute. She lived all alone in a little house, quite a long way from where you live. In fact, quite a long way from where anybody lives. Timber cottage. Little Miss Shy was so shy she couldn't bring herself to leave her little cottage. She never went shopping. The thought of walking into a shop and asking for something was absolutely terrifying. So she grew her own food in a garden or timber cottage and lived a very quiet life. Very, very, very quiet indeed. Bang, bang, bang. Little Miss Shy, who was having breakfast in the kitchen of a timber cottage, dived under the table in terror. But it was only the postman knocking at the door. "Anybody home?" he called. Little Miss Shy, under the table, put her hands over her ear and shut her eyes. "She must be out," thought the postman to himself, and pushed the letter he was carrying under the door and walked away. Little Miss Shy waited and waited and waited until the sound of his footsteps had died away. And then she waited some more. In fact, she spent most of that day under her kitchen table. It was dark by the time Little Miss Shy dared to come out. There it was in the doormat, the very first letter she had in the whole of her life. She opened it cautiously. It was from Mr. Funny. "You are invited," said the letter, "to a party." It went on Saturday, it said, "at 3 o'clock," it added. "It's going to be fun, fun, fun." The little Miss Shy was terrified. She looked at the letter again. "I can't go," she thought. "I can't. There's people. In the whole wide world, there was absolutely nothing that frightened little Miss Shy as much as the thought of people. She worried about it all night long. But the following day she made a decision. "I'll have to go," she thought. It wouldn't be polite not to. But 5 minutes later, she changed her mind, and 5 minutes later, she changed her mind back again. But 5 minutes later, guess what happened? That's right, she didn't sleep that night at all. The following day was Friday, and that Friday Little Miss Shy changed her mind 144 times. That's how many 5 minutes there are in a day. She was going to the party. She wasn't going to the party. She was going to the party. She wasn't. It was a long day. And that Friday night was even worse than Thursday night has been. She didn't sleep a wink. not even half a wink. Saturday morning came and went. Saturday lunchtime came and went. Little Miss Shy couldn't eat her things. 1 o'clock in the afternoon came and went. 2 o'clock in the afternoon came and went. And then 3 o'clock the party time came and went. The poor little Miss Shy she couldn't. She just sat there and tears rolling down her cheek. Oh, I do so wish I wasn't so shy, she sobbed. 4 o'clock came. There was a loud knock at the door. Little Miss Shy hid behind her chair. The door opened. Annie walked Mr. Funny. I know you wouldn't come, he laughed, looking at her behind the chair. So, he went on, I've come to take you. Little Miss Shy brushed and brushed and brushed. Come on, cried Mr. Funny, seizing her by the hands. You will enjoy it once you are there. And he marched the brushed little lady up to his party. Everybody was there. Little Miss Shy didn't feel very well, but everybody talked to her, and everybody was very nice. And gradually, the longer the party lasted, bit by bit, little by little, eventually, guess what happened? She stopped brushing and actually started to enjoy herself. Told you so, laughed Mr. Funny. Little Miss Shy nodded and giggled. She was having the time of her life and only brushed a bit. And do you know who she met at a party? Mr. Quiet. I used to be shy like you, he said. Little Miss Shy looked at him. I don't believe you, she giggled, and then she thought, would you like to come to Timber Cottage for tea tomorrow? She said. Mr. Quiet looked at her. Me? He said, brushing like a beetroot. Tea? He said, brushing like a beetroot. Tomorrow? He said, brushing like a whole sack full of beetroot. Finally, and then he fainted. Thank you.